Guys, we're back.
Yo, Ralph Bear here. Remember the X-Men? Ah, yeah, the Uncanny X-Men. I love everything about the X-Men, from the 90s cartoon to the awesome arcade game to Mutant Apocalypse to the film series, I only enjoyed 3 of them by the way, to Evolution and many, many more. Now, let's just dial it all back to the 90s, that ancient simple decade when alien words like VCR, pager, and some guy named Ralph Nader were a thing. Back when Wolverine went from hype to overhype and to just simply dead. Yeah. And also back when, this is the 3rd time Jean Grey died out of 100?
Jesus Christ, how horrifying.
And Rogue went from the
Aphrodite of the 90s to
that one goth chick that you want to totally hook up with at high school, but can't because... Have you seen Rogue in the cartoons? Well, I'm here to introduce you to the children's books based on the awesome 90s cartoons. Now, there was this mysterious store that I used to go to called a Blockbuster, where these X-Men children books were sold. Each of these books are based on several things, including original stories and abridged retellings of the episodes they were based on. Now, I'm only going to take a look at the books I've collected when I was a kid, and the ones I've lost but have so much fond memories of them. We'll start off with the first books in the Random House X-Men series with Part 2 of
Night of the Sentinels.
Continuing along where the previous parts left off with Jubilee kidnapped and the X-Men come over to rescue her. Now, if you've seen Nostalgia Critic's review of the first 2 episodes, you know how this is going. The strange thing is that this book is titled Night of the Sentinels, but the contents of the book is all about Part 2 of the story. There never was no Part 2 of the story, and Part 1 was retitled Enter the X-Men. While I find that title a lot more fitting and rather cliche for X-Men's first episodes, consistency is a key. You want to let kids know that this is a multi-part book, unless you're very familiar with the old cartoons to properly get these in order. While the stories in these books does a pretty good summary of the original episodes they were based on, some will leave out key elements from said episodes that'll leave readers either indifferent or confused. Then again, you get the much better experience watching the episodes. Otherwise, what's the point? And since we're going by that logic, I shouldn't be doing this review right now in the first place. Later, bitches! Quit shoving, man. Yeah, do a review. Damn. Nah, I kid. Fucking asshole. Let's move on. Ever since I was a kid, I enjoy these books from a totally different experience than the cartoons. For starters, we get different unique artists who worked on these books, giving each book a different look from the original episodes, with artists such as the late Maurice Severn is an artist that caught me by surprise after reading her background, as she was a regular Marvel and EC comic artist and colorist who I best know her for drawing that wicked awesome cover art of
the big premiere issue
of The Incredible Hulk number 102. And since she worked on the book, her art style is noticeably more simplified, but not to the point where it's bland. It shows that a great talent is working on this, and she's a great storyteller by the illustrations. I can totally see how Wolverine is feeling on that cliff to the dynamic action scenes where the X-Men takes down the Sentinels. She's going for that stylized look that was popular in the 90s and capture the look and feel of the cartoons to the point where I think it looks better than the show itself. Maybe because the animation just doesn't hold up too well during those early seasons. Maurice Severn would only draw the first 2 books of the Random House series. And now for something totally different. Unlike Maurice Severn, who at least was known to the Marvel fans alike, Greene Morrow is a very obscure and sadly overlooked artist in the comic book industry. He is known for his works on the Tarzan newspaper strips, various cover arts of sci-fi and horror books, and many more that a small handful of people know of their mere existence. Greene Morrow has a style that really sticks out of all the typical 90s artists at the time, as he has a very early 1930s Pulp Fiction, Flash Gordon, Ray Bradbury look, tone, and atmosphere to the books. While odd to some, but totally fitting for
the strangest superheroes of all.
Especially for this incarnation of the X-Men. Hell, the man's talent for drawing strange and fearsome creatures shows, as his artistic take on the Morlocks frightened me as a kid. They look much more intimidating than how they were shown in the actual episodes this book is based on.
Where'd she go?
Don't tell me you missed me.
Hey, get off of me!
Sure, Sugar.
While it's safe to say that in terms of artistic quality, Morrow's X-Men books has the best art, but they contain 2 conflicting feelings to me. On one hand, he makes great realistic and individualized interpretations of the characters, good action panels, and more gorgeous and naturally proportionate women in these books. But due to said realistic art style, the X-Men look rather silly in their costumes, making their iconic 90s costume that will look totally cool if it was done by artists like Jim Lee to looking something like you see out of a New York Comic Con. Thus, reality suddenly hits you that these outfits you love so much are gonna look pretty damn silly if they were made in real life. This must be what Bryan Singer's line of thinking was when he stumbled upon these books, like, yeah, no, blend black suits are the way to go. Because these outfits do not translate well, unless you're like Superpower Beatdown or any of the Marvel Cinematic Universe films. Yeah, suck it, Singer. Now, where was I? Oh yeah. This is by far the worst artist from the book series. I do not know who this Arcadia is. Hell, not even Google turned up a lot of information. All I know that this person read a few other X-Men books in the past. Arcadia's artwork in the book is your standard tie-in children's books artist, where the backgrounds are a lot more simplified, the characters look like a sketchy, unpolished mess, and his use of storytelling isn't too good either, as this page here on the book shows Beast grabbing a gun from a Friends of Humanity thug, and from the looks of the image, he looks feral. But the way the dialogue is written, and if you see the original episode it was based on, he spoke to the man in a calm manner, something Beast usually does.
Perhaps you are unaware that this is a dangerous weapon. Now!
But from the book version, all I'm hearing in my head is,
Perhaps you're unaware that this is a dangerous weapon!
Overall, I ranked Maurice Severn as the #1 best artist for these kinds of books. Greene Morrow, while I really love his art so much, has to go to #2 due to his off-modeling. And Arcadia being dead last due to his art being such an eyesore to me.
Boo! You stink!
The books from the Random House lineup are kinda unique at the time, going across between a standard children's book with a description from above and bottom of the pages to that of a comic book with all the use of multiple panels and word bubbles. This to me is like a I can read of superhero comic books, as I get the simple stuff how comic books are structured, and later on I get to read the more standard comic books they release at any local grocery store that sells them at that time. Also, from the back of the covers to the end of the book, you see these simple but detailed infos on each of the characters. Who would have known that there was an X-Men blue team and a gold team? and the art for each of these info boxes is drawn by the ever-talented Jim Lee, known for such books as his run on the 90s X-Men books that popularized that take on their uniforms, Batman Hush, that New 52 Justice League books, and All-Star Batman... Also at the back of these books are the glossary sections that are a nice touch to teach kids big, complicated words such as adamantium claws, optic blast, war room, and arch enemy. These are the kinds of words that help you look smart and sophisticated to all the cool cats during game night. Just pray they do superhero themed quizzes. Random House later on made the Tattoo Tales line of books, where not only do you get original X-Men stories, but try out those shitty rub-on tattoos that'll make you look cool, but they're gonna wipe right off once you take a bath, and that was like
5 months wasted, Mom. You could've saved those for Dunkaroos, man. You could've saved them for Dunkaroos.
What the hell's a dunker?
Shut the hell up, Mr. Ed. I'm having some serious childhood issues.
While the tattoos are a waste of your time, these books are of a different matter. As far as I know, there were 2 Tattoo Tales books, X-Men Masquerade and X-Men Spellbound. The Spellbound book tells the story of Jubilee taking down the crafty Mesmero for mind-controlling the team to perform as circus freaks for his show. It's really just an adaptation of the Uncanny X-Men issue number 111, only shorter and Jubilee's being the X-Men savior instead of Beast. But the Masquerade one is the one I'll never forget, most likely because it is very misleading. Now, you're a kid going to a book aisle and you're a hardcore fan of superheroes or anything with some badass or
Extreme.
and then you see this cover art, Wolverine vs. Cyclops, in a battle to the death, with Jubilee standing in their way with a dark, red, hellish background. That sounds like the coolest thing ever. You pick it up and flip the page, and what do you get? One page of Cyclops messing with Wolverine. The two are about to tussle until Jean immediately interrupts it all in the next page. Jeez, what a rip! If all that awesomeness only happened in 2 pages, then what the story's about anyway? The X-Men are having a friendly costume party! Yay! And I know what you're thinking. Well, duh, Ralph. The title clearly says X-Men Masquerade. You could have figured this out immediately. Well, excuse my 5-year-old me for being so duped then. While everyone else can see it coming from the title of the cover, all I see is...
Yeah, business about to pick up. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Let's get on.
So yeah, the X-Men are having a costume party. I know they need their downtime after all the chaos from previous adventures, but after seeing the cover, and instead of getting this... Break out. All I get is... X-Men, X-Men, getting some cake, X-Men, X-Men, Wolverine's a clown. Overall, these books were okay, and surprisingly unique for tie-in books as a kid, especially in terms of all the unique artists that worked on it, except for Arcadia. Most of them gave out great information of the characters and show off enough summary of the episodes of the show that you get pumped up to see the actual show. You can buy these books online at various websites. Amazon sells them for practically a steal, but eBay got them in bundles for $9.99. If anyone out there is a huge X-Men fan or a collector or has a strong nostalgia for these books, they're worth the buy. But if these don't pique your interest, just watch the show on DVD or on Netflix. Just thought I'd do this mini review to let everyone know that these books existed and should be looked and be known for their existence. Later! Woohoo! What do you think of my new Yeti mic?